Okay. So my
Alrighty.
thing was, how would you define success for Facebook reactions? So what the product does, what Facebook Reactions does, is that it enables users to show their feelings and reactions to content from other users, businesses, influencers, even advertisers with a single press of a button, which helps to elevate that content so others with similar interests can see and react to it themselves. So it's another metric and another data point for us to be able to serve, say, if you really like to see content with a bunch of positive reactions versus negative reactions, then we'll be able to serve you content with more hearts on it than more angry faces. The
Okay.
value,
This is coming from the Facebook perspective.
mhm,
Do you think that from the user perspective, when they react to something, their purpose is to elevate that content so others can see it?
not their primary purpose, probably. I guess it's
Correct.
just to share their reaction.
Yes. So when we tackle these interview questions, let's answer it from the user's perspective and not so much from Facebook's perspective.
Okay, got it. So then the value, I think, of this product is that it gives users more ways to share their reactions and feelings towards content than just a like. With one tap, and it opens up the ability to do so on any post which you may have previously felt that it wasn't necessarily right to like. So content that maybe is someone delivering sad news about something, when someone posts something that makes people angry, people maybe before felt it wasn't appropriate or right to like the content. And so as a result, they just weren't reacting to it. They weren't clicking it, they weren't engaging with it. So now, as there's more reactions, users are able to just express their reaction quickly with a like, whether it's angry, expressing sentiment towards someone if, some sad news came their way, and I won't answer that bullet point in how it helps Facebook understand the sentiments. And we're
No, this
not
is
doing
fine.
that.
So we can lead with the user perspective and then back it
Okay.
up with the Facebook perspective. So this is
Okay.
totally fine. The other thing I want you to also think about is how is the reactions product different from comments? Because right now you're comparing reactions with the like button.
Hmm.
How does it compare with the comments product?
Okay. And I should do that in value. I talk about that, I guess, as my counter metric and not wanting to
Oh,
cannibalize comments.
okay, I would bring it up here too, but if you
Okay.
cover it down below, then that's okay. And then,
Quick question, Nancy. Like, is the
mhm.
guidance here that we should also find opportunities to like highlight the next very close product and just talk about differences, like kind of how you mentioned between reactions
Mhm.
and comment. I mean, go very close together, but I'm also thinking
Yes.
in perspective of other
Mhm.
products. Okay.
Yes, you should. Because no
Mhm.
feature on Facebook is isolated. They're all
Mhm.
interrelated. Okay,
Okay.
go
Okay.
on.
Cool. So then just thinking about the product and the value, I'm going to kind of come up with a hypothesis for our North Star metric being the number of reactions per day.
Okay, so first is enable users to quickly. Okay, what's number two?
So then number two would be to build more detailed character profiles on users from us as Meta's perspective so that
Okay,
we can serve them that content that's more relevant to them.
okay.
And then third, improve our tagging and algorithm so that content from users, businesses, and creators get to the right audiences.
Two
So I
and
kind
three
of
are
tried to
similar,
touch
right?
on, yeah, they are. I tried to kind of touch on, like, the first one has to do with the content viewer. The second has to do with like the business, and the third one has to do with businesses and like creators, so content creators. But yeah, I should probably change the language a little. They do sound pretty
Maybe
similar.
just do one that is user facing and a second one that is Facebook facing. Okay, so then here, in terms of the hypothesis, why not number of users who use reactions?
So I considered why not the amount of users that use reactions per day, but with the amount of I wanted to kind of be able to relate it to something that could always grow in a more controlled environment. So when there's power users, for example,
Mhm.
the number of users per day who are reacting to content, for example, wouldn't be skewed. But with that, I want to take into the account the amount of content that's actually being created and go with the number of reactions that increase with the amount of content.
Here, I would use both a participation rate metric and a volume metric. That way, you cannot gain this one alone. With this, it's exactly like you said, you could have one power user or you could have one bot that is reacting to everybody, and that would not be successful for
Okay.
the reaction product. So I would just say that the North Star is kind of like a combination of the participation rate and the volume.
Okay, cool. Should I like reframe how I talk about this as like this is the hypothesis, like my hypothesis? Because I remember seeing that in one of the videos.
Yeah.
Because or should I like wait until I have a more firm idea of like going through the user journey and then giving the North Star metric?
So at this point, actually, with bullet point number 1, you could already translate this into a metric, which is number of users using the product.
Hmm.
That's exactly what number 1 is saying. Enable users to express their feelings. If you were to translate that, it's number of users using reactions. So you don't have to step through the user journey because you already
Okay.
hypothesized it. The other thing I want to add to the value section is we didn't cover what the creator feels.
Hmm.
How would the creator feel? Which I would also cover in the value. When we react to something, we are giving feedback to the creator. The creator then feels good that they're being heard. They feel a sense of belonging. Imagine a creator posts something and no one reacts, no one comments, and there's nothing. It's crickets. The
Hmm.
creator feels bad. And so, again, this is an ecosystem. The power of the reaction is yes, I'm able to share my feelings as the reactor, but then it also makes the creator feel good. And then when the creator feels good, they're more likely to go and create more. That is what makes this ecosystem healthy. We need this flywheel effect. So I
Hmm.
would add that.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's go through the rest here.
Cool. So for the users, I kind of broke it out by the content consumer and the content creator. And there can be a bit of mixing back and forth in that content consumers will create content, content creators will consume content and react to it. But for the content consumer, I think this is someone who wants to view content that is relevant to them and either entertaining, inspiring, educational. They want to come to Facebook specifically because of their friends. So these are the more personal users. And so they want to be able to keep up with them, their everyday lives, see what's going on. And perhaps they want to track down missed in real life family members. So they have the opportunity to find people through Facebook that they wouldn't necessarily be able to meet in real life that they're close to. And they also have ability to discover products, businesses, and creators that enrich and improve their lives through the products that they sell or through the creators making really engaging content.
Okay.
Go on.
Mm-hmm.
So then on the other side of that is the content creator. And I've kind of broken these out into the personal user who we just kind of talked through that would share
Mm-hmm.
content mainly for the purpose of keeping family and friends updated with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a business may prioritize finding new customers and prioritizing conversion, but also building a brand for influencers. They have a similar but different purpose to businesses where they're looking to engage their community. They may work with brands to collaborate and make money there, and also advertise or just
Mhm.
demonstrate useful products that they think their community will like. And then, of course, we have Meta, who aims to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. So they're
Yes.
successful when all of this comes together.
Yeah, so I would shorten this section,
Okay.
okay, to condense. We don't have to go really deep.
Okay.
You could just like touch on, basically, we just want to know that there's the creator side and then there's the consumption side.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's do the user flow.
Cool. So I created the user flow and then I created it again with metrics. So maybe skip the first one that doesn't have
Okay.
metrics and we can just go straight down to the one that does. So on the content consumer side, for the user journey, I have them opening up Facebook, discovering content, and there's a few different entry points that they could discover it on. They could discover it in home feed, they could discover it within Reels, they could discover it on the profiles of the friends that they're viewing. And they could also potentially discover it, I didn't have it written down, but through messages that their friends may have sent to them. So after they discover the content, then they can tap like or press and hold to reaction. And so the metrics that I would track here, and so you would say that we should do the metrics while we're doing the step-by-step user journey, or that we should do the user journey and then come back and add metrics?
I usually do the journey first and then come back to fill in the metrics.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what
But I do it
uh,
really quick though. Like the journey, it's not super detailed.
okay.
Okay.
So then I have the third step being that people could possibly take their like back or their reaction back later on. And so I think the most important metrics to track here are the percent of reactions per surface when we look at the home feed, Reels feed, their profile, where people are reacting to the most content. I have the number of total reactions per day, number of reactions per weekend month, per user. And so I guess that's what we flagged as, I think, the North Star in the end. But we also have the number of specific types of reactions per day, being able to track which reactions people are using more, what kind of content, the number of posts reacted to per day, the number of posts viewed per day, the time spent per day on Facebook per user. So we're able to compare how much they're reacting to it, and the percentage of account types that people are reacting to. So if people are reacting to more personal content, more business content, or more influencer content.
Yeah, so I would just add the participation here. This is a bunch of volume metrics.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
How many metrics should we should we keep it down to a certain amount? Should we list everything, most important things?
I don't tend to go very granular as in number of posts viewed per day because this this is like measuring impression,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't really care about impression if I'm the reactions PM. Well, I mean,
Okay.
maybe, but I mean, this is fine. I would just also add the participation rate,
Okay.
which is number of people reacting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the creator side.
Cool. So on the creator side, creators can either open Facebook to create content through the Meta for Business tool or through the app or web experience. I think people usually start from where they left off. So they'll probably open their notification feed to go to a previous post to track the performance on that post. And then they'll actually move into creating new content. So in that, let me try and find where this is. So
So
sharing,
these are outside the scope of reaction, right? As a creator, sharing, etc.
okay, so we
Right.
just talk about within
Mhm.
what's relevant to reaction. So it would be like
Yeah.
super short.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So then it would just be they create content on either within the experience or the Meta
Mhm.
for Business experience. They
Mhm.
post it
Mhm.
and then that's it. Only those two steps.
Well, they post it and then they wait for people to
And then
respond.
they
We're,
observe.
yeah, so we want to capture the feelings that people are feeling. They post and now they're anxiously waiting for people to respond. They're waiting to be notified, and they want to see who is reacting and how they're reacting to it.
Okay.
And then when they get notified, oh, so and so reacted, then they're like happy. When they're happy, they're more likely to use Facebook again, especially for business user. They know that their business like marketing campaign is getting traction. They'll come back to Facebook continuously.
Okay.
That's the feedback loop and the flywheel that we want. Okay.
Okay, cool. So then I just got down to confirming the North Star metric, which is wrong, so I won't talk through that too much, but that's all the way at the bottom. And then publish content. Oh, so do you want me to go through these metrics also? So when they publish content, the metrics that I would like to track are the number of reactions received per post, the total number of reactions per day from people.
Yeah, again, I would just add the participation rate. How many creators are there?
Okay.
Okay. North Star strategy. I think this we talked about.
Yeah. How long should I talk about the North Star strategy? I think one of the videos mentioned like 3 minutes.
I would time box this entire exercise to be 20 minutes.
Okay.
So it's not very long, 15 to 20 minutes. So we already talked about the North Star. I know we said we need to. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so we can like skip past that since we talked through the details of like the why, and then I'd get into risks and countermetrics and then ecosystem metrics. So for risks and countermetrics, I would want to see the number of comments per day and per post, because we don't want to cannibalize people commenting with the new ability to express their emotions and reactions more accurately with just the tap of a button. We want to make sure we're keeping comments rich and coming. I would like to track the number of times content is shared per day also. So is people having the ability to react more within the post itself, resulting in them sharing the content less within Facebook, which keeps users in longer, and outside of Facebook's, which brings users back to Facebook and even brings churned users back. And then the number of posts deleted per day. Perhaps people are getting a lot of angry reactions or reactions that they didn't expect, and then they would actually take content down.
Yeah, so I would add a secondary metric here, which is there will be more creation of content.
Okay.
Because
and
people
that's
are getting
from risks.
Yeah, this is not a risk. This is secondary metric because this is a healthy feedback loop that we want. Because people are reacting to our content, more people would be more inclined to create more content because there's that healthy feedback loop. But of course, which you already covered in the risk is number of basically what you're saying is we don't want reactions to decrease content production. We want reaction to increase content production. We want more creators and we want more content.
Yeah.
Great. Any other questions on this exercise?
No, I just put in ecosystem and downstream metrics. The time spent in the app and on each surface may increase as a result of people being able to express their reactions more. The number of posts created as a result of higher engagement could also increase. And then the number of products sold for companies could also increase because people are able to react to things and they spend more time in the platform as a result of it.
I would say also in plain English, which is people becoming better friends as a result of reactions.
Okay.
Because a reaction could spark a conversation. So, oh, thank you for reacting or whatever. And that conversation could be online or it could be offline. Either way, it's a win for Facebook because of the reactions product. We are bringing people closer together.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just add that. Bringing people closer together because of reactions. Okay, great.